Today we're here with Brian Murphy. Brian is a member of Construction Accelerator program. So Brian, if you'd like to tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that your business does.
Brian Murphy is my name. So my business at present, I suppose, is Home Reform Ireland, is what we're known as. We may change that because we've kind of fine-tuned in what we do. But basically was kind of home improvements, kitchen renovations, tile and grout renovations, and epoxy countertops and other epoxy products. I suppose the latest lockdown, we did a lot of marketing for when things reopened, and the epoxy seems to be what's really popular and what's really selling. So I think we're kind of looking at just fine-tuning and becoming, I suppose, having the more expertise on the epoxy and having the other ones as lesser minor add-ons as such. So so I suppose we're just kind of looking as to whether we will rebrand or stick with the name. I think maybe rebranding and going with an epoxy business name may be better attract. But we cover Munster at the moment, the whole of Munster. And as I say, about 90% of the work at the moment coming in is for the epoxy products. So that's where we're at the moment now, Shane. Yeah.
Is the epoxy work, is that your most profitable work, or is it the most sellable work? Is it?
Both. Yeah. So so that's why we were thinking of like the Home Reform Ireland was, because we kind of did. I suppose we were kind of doing a full kitchen revamp and a full bathroom revamp, which upgraded your tiles, recolored your kitchen units if it was the kitchen, and did your epoxy countertops. But generally, people will retile if they're going to upgrade their kitchen that much. And the kitchen the respraying for what we were getting out of it, it isn't, to me anyway, it wasn't worth the investment into it. There's a lot of time and equipment and stuff like that, and labor hours and whatnot. So the epoxy, with epoxy countertops, there's other outdoor epoxy products as well that we're bringing online. Epoxy flooring is coming in with us in the next month or so. So definitely, it's the most profitable and the most sellable because it has the wow factor as well, you know.
It's a major transformation for the customer. It's a very visual thing as well. So that's good. So you've kind of discovered what's your most profitable work. It's also it's more sellable. It's more desirable to the target market, and it's more efficient to actually do because you probably need less machinery, less moving parts. What's the outdoor product that you're bringing in?
It's a resin bound. It's driveways, pathways. So it's a resin bound. So it's like small stones, but they're bound with resin. So, and then that can also be replaced with rubber products for play areas, playgrounds, stuff like that. But that resin bound then is it's frost resistant, weed resistant, doesn't discolor, so it doesn't stain like your tarmac and like your concrete products. So now it's that bit more expensive, but it has a lifetime guarantee, and stops any weeds coming through it. You'd often see a tarmac drive there that might have weeds coming up through it in places. This is fully weed resistant, and it's in the UK they call it SUDS approved, which is a drainage. So the water drains through. It doesn't hold the water, so then it becomes frost resistant because the water doesn't sit on top like it does with tarmac or concrete. So we're only launching that product this week, actually. But that we're hoping that will really take off too.
For the new product, it's quite different than what you're currently doing. Do you need any more machinery? Do you need to hire new staff?
There's machinery with it to a fancy cement mixer, really, you know. But that's really the only machinery that's needed. But it all comes from my epoxy supplier anyway, so it's easily got. And you would be bringing on depending on how like the only thing is with it, it is weather dependent. So it would be part-time staff I'd be taking on for it.
So it'd be seasonal work, probably during the spring and summer months. You'd be doing mostly that.
Yeah. No, it can be indoors as well, but mainly outdoors. It can be used indoors. Before
joining the program, Brian, what was life and business like for you versus now?
I suppose ad hoc, really. Well, when I say ad hoc, but I suppose there was no strategic marketing as such. Even with the Facebook, it was all boosting posts rather than a targeted questionnaire and stuff like that, and I suppose funneling the customers rather than just getting. I was only talking to a guy last week, getting 20 messages saying, "Is this still available?" or "Tell us more about your product." Well, now at least they're qualified. It saves a lot of time with tire kickers, basically.
Going back to when you actually decided to join the program and sign up, what was it that made you pull the trigger and actually sign up for the program?
I suppose it was just to get a better understanding of the Facebook advertising and the online advertising, and see how we could fine tune that. As I said, I was busy answering silly questions on Facebook, Facebook Messenger, getting crap leads basically, and just to fine tune it, and it's certainly taken away, I'd say, 70 to 80% of, as I call them, tire kickers.
I'm just going back to the rebrand. So have you got a name in mind?
I was going to go with Rebel Epoxy. So I was just going to rename the page rather than starting from scratch, really.
Oh yeah, because you already have a following built up on the page. Are you sole trader or are you limited?
Sole trader at the moment, but I may go limited especially if the outdoor resin bound takes off and you're employing a bit more part-time staff. That might be you have a bit more cover personally in a limited company when you have, especially with part-time staff. Whatever about full-time staff, they're generally they're, I suppose, they're loyal to you.
When you say part-time staff, then are you actually going to get them in on the books as part-time staff? Or are you going to bring in kind of subcontractors who are already kind of registered themselves and just bring them in to carry out certain works and certain jobs?
I'd say the way the current climate I'm going to have to put them through the books. It's only general labour work, The staff that I'll be bringing on, as I said, to be temporary, like probably for the summer months, it's only a fella using a mixer and a fella drawing a wheelbarrow. So you won't get any subcontractor in for that. Like,
going limited is always the way forward. You're in this to make money. Are you registered for VAT at the minute?
Not at the minute, no. But going ahead, I'll be over the threshold this year with what's lined up, so I'll have to.
Yeah, and that's the goal. Sometimes when people come up towards that threshold, they get a little bit hesitant, start trying to get more cash work in. But look, you're in this to make money. You want to increase your turnover and your margins. These are the things we just have to do. It's always better to pay your taxes, register for VAT, go limit, do it the right way. Do you pay yourself a fixed weekly wage, Brian?
Yeah, I allow it into the cost of the job, basically what I'll take out of it,
What are some of the key takeaways that you found helped you out the most from the program?
And how to target the right market, really. And I suppose to get the engagements on posts, like you could put up a post there and it's not getting the hits, it's not getting the likes and the shares and stuff. So it's just, I suppose, just fine tuning and how you put a post together that will get the likes, and to small things you take at times. Like the one that got me was that put the after picture, your first picture. Like, and I was guilty of it myself, but everyone puts the before picture first. Like, so the first picture you see as you're scrolling through is a before picture, and like having that after picture there, people are like, "Whoa, look at this." While they'll scroll through an old dingy looking kitchen, they'll scroll past it. But when they see a finished product, they'll go, "Oh, geez," they click into it, and things like that. So as I said, sometimes it's the small things that stick with you. But definitely targeting the right and how to target them was huge. As I said, it got rid of 70 or 80% of these people who were only hit the send message button there out of boredom, lying on the couch, basically, and haven't answered them. While you get the leads through, you can read through what they're interested in and what exactly they're looking for. And if they've answered the questions, they've done a bit of homework on it, or they're some way interested rather than just, "I want to know more about your product."
It qualifies them. Someone that's actually willing to go through, answer a couple of questions, put in their contact details. you know, they're a little bit more serious than someone just hitting send a message, how much for this.
Exactly, yeah.
Most of the time, it's the simple little things, like putting the after picture before, because it instantly stands out. Same, actually, I was chatting with Karen and Alan from Alcar Construction, who were in the group as well. And one little tweak that they made was they got the branded workwear, they got their, you know, got their logo on their shirt and things like that. And when he was going up to price a job, he, instead of going up in the van with the Snickers on and all that sort of stuff, he put on the branded shirt, he'd wash the van or he'd take the car or something like that. And he's after closing a couple of new jobs now where he's actually increased his price, and he was the highest bid for those jobs and he won them. And one of the customers actually came back and said, the main reason we went with you because you looked more professional. You know, when you're rocking up, you looked clean, you looked professional. Even though it was more expensive, they felt like you trusted him a bit more. Again, that was just a free thing, a simple thing that he done. Order probably cost him maybe 20, 30 euros for the jacket. Would you recommend the program to other business owners who maybe run a similar business to yourself, Brian?
Definitely. As I said, I suppose everyone takes something different out of it, but it has definitely helped me, I suppose, manage my time a bit better, in that I can be out on the road on jobs, rather than being on the end of the phone non-stop answering messages or phone calls and stuff. It has fine-tuned a lot of the behind the scenes work, really, you know. So it has definitely been worth my while. Yeah.
What would you say to other business owners who were maybe considering signing up for the program but are a little bit hesitant or skeptical about actually pulling the trigger and moving forward? Definitely,
I've got more out of it than what I put into it, you know. So like what you learn from that program, you'll never learn it yourself. So it has been worth. It has definitely been worth it for me. So I'd say anyone that is questioning it, give it a go. Definitely, there's stuff there for everyone, no matter what level you're at. There's something there that you will pick up. It covers nearly all bases that, no matter where you are in your business, you'll get something from it that will help you along the line.